Hello, I'm Graham Brown-Martin, the Chief Education Advisor for PyTop.
Hi, I'm Jesse Lozano. I'm one of the co-founders of PyTop and the CEO.
And so part of transforming education is the sort of de-siloing of subjects. I mean, we still have this sort of very 19th century or early 20th century idea that we have all these subjects as separate from each other. But what I hear from PyTop is this notion of interdisciplinary STEAM. So STEAM's only interesting when you start combining them and mashing them up between them and moving seamlessly between them. And so project-based learning seems to be a way of doing that. And that's always been quite hard for teachers in these silos to practice. Now I understand that PyTop are trying to facilitate that in a better way. Can you talk a little bit about PyTop's view on project-based learning and how you're enabling teachers and learners to work in that way?
Yeah, so I think from our perspective, from PyTop's perspective, in terms of how do we take a cross-curricular approach and how do we kind of, like you say, de-silo these different STEM-based subjects, it's all in project-based learning. So when you're building, when you're learning with a PyTop, you're building a robot or you're building a music synthesizer, and it's going to do something really cool at the end. But through that process, you're not just learning coding, you're not just learning engineering-based skills, but you're learning wider science skills that have been baked into the whole story of why are you building this robot or why are you building this music synthesizer. So it is about taking all of these different elements and combining them into something that, it's greater than the sum of its parts, and that you can see where these different aspects of the real world are applying, towards the thing that you're learning in school, which I think is pretty special. It's something I wish I'd had more of when I was in school.
Super cool. And in terms of what we're looking towards the future, where do you think where do you see PyTop's future over the next couple of years going? I mean, are we going to see, you're expanding very rapidly. Are we going to see new kinds of approaches to learning coming out of PyTop?
So, yes, I think the future of PyTop involves a lot of expansion. We are growing at a pretty rapid pace. But for us, what we're focusing on is this act of high quality learning in the classroom, and how do we enable teachers to deliver project-based learning and deliver a learning by making experience that is very experiential in the classroom. It's about teaching kids in interesting and engaging ways rather than just getting them to memorize. You can get good grades by memorizing, but you don't necessarily get well-educated students out the end of that. And so what we really need to think about is kind of, what's the point of going to school in the future? Is it to get good grades and go to a good university and get a degree and then go into a profession which may or may not exist 10 years from now? Or is it to learn the act of learning? And I think that for PyTop, we're very much, pushing and trying to reinforce this idea of learning the act of learning in schools, and I think that that's what's going to keep our students future-proof, as we go into this kind of fourth industrial revolution stage, and so that that's really where our focus is. It's in augmenting that entire experience.